Pot is set. We have a Grinchy robe. We have some eggnog. Okay. Now it feels appropriate to hang out on Christmas. But yeah, so sorry about the earlier chat. I didn't have my eyeballs on. I could not see effectively. Yeah, this feels much better. This feels much better. I think also given the fact that like it is wait, did I put this on public? I think I did. Oh shoot, now I don't know. Wait, how can I check that if I'm on it? I have no idea if this is public or not. I guess I'm just gonna wait a minute and see. Oh, okay, there I see a like. Okay, so it's public. Okay. Okay, there we go. Mm. Here. Hey, hello. Hi. Woot woot. Just went public. There we go. Yes, Merry Christmas. So I was kind of talking to myself a little bit earlier. Just saying that like this feels very appropriate to actually talk on Christmas in this manner, in this attire as well, I must say. But also I was realizing because like I wasn't gonna go live. I was just gonna do a little like Merry Christmas post and just kind of be with myself tonight. But I was like, it is Christmas. It is the holiday time, and there's a lot of people who feel a lot of things on this day in particular. I think no matter where in the world you are, I think even if you're not like a Christmas person, I think you probably just feel other people too at times. Um, and yeah, like I think it is kind of nice to connect on a day like today, especially if you're feeling not super awesome, right? Happy holidays. I'm in my fuzzy unicorn onesie. That's cool. You look so cute. I have my eggnog. Eggnog. Um, I freaking love eggnog. So I have store-bought eggnog, which is it's great. But a few years ago, I finally just learned how to make it. And if you've never made eggnog and you like eggnog, I know not eggnog's not everybody's jam, but if you love eggnog and you've never made it, you should. The second I tasted it, I was like, I've never had real eggnog. It was like how I felt when I first got a taste of that like fresh homemade stuff. There's nothing like it. Store bought is great too, but just saying, it's worth it. Um, Made it through chilling at my place. I cried yesterday out of longing for community and partnership. Oh, I feel you. I feel you. I love eggnog. I did too during 2020. It's much better. It is. I can't describe it. It's like the flavor's better, the textures. It's just it's bomb. It's bomb. Is it really eggs in it? Yeah, but you cook them. You cook them, if memory serves. Pretty sure. Or do you cook the milk? Oh shit. See, now I don't remember. Now I have to look at the recipe because it's been so long. But yeah, it definitely has eggs in it. And like I know that freaks people out, but I'm telling you, eggnog is amazing. I'm just saying, it's amazing. And it's amazing in coffee. It's amazing with a little rum. It's amazing with a little bourbon. It's amazing with a little nutmeg, a little cinnamon. It's just amazing all around. Um, but I saw that comment earlier about crying. Yeah, I feel you. It's like I feel like there like this is definitely like a strange energy in this present moment. Like, and I do think it's fleeting. I do think it's temporary. But I think given that it's the holiday time, like I think it's just stuff that people think about innately, right? Community, family, partnership, or lack thereof. Um, and so I do think there's a collective kind of like sadness for people who feel that lack of that, or the absence, I want to say, not the lack of it, the absence of it, which I think is totally normal. And I think also given just everything that's happened this year, and I think the year we're moving into, just how important that really is, I think a lot of people are feeling that too. Um, Hope your new place is comfy for you. I do love the place. Like the abode, I really love. Um, where I'm at, I don't know if it's really long term or not, just speaking honestly, which I won't lie, it's been making me feel some things. I've been trying not to focus on it. Been trying really hard not to focus on it. Trying really hard to just like enjoy the gift of what I've been given. Like we always say this, right? It's like you get what you need, not necessarily what you want. And a place like this is something I've definitely been needing. Like my soul has been needing a place like this for a long time. And it's even talking about it's like making me emotional. I've needed a place like this for a long time. But yeah, where it's located, that it's like all I have to say about it. I don't know. I don't. Jerry's still out on that. Merry Christmas. Thank you for all the support this year. Thank you guys for all the support this year. Hold on a second. Clydester, can you sit down so you don't knock over my tree? He's literally rubbing himself against the tripod. Can you please? Please. Maybe not on the tripod. Hold on. I just gotta watch him. He's like trying to lay down. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, just all the support. Like that's something else that I've also been just sitting with too, and like the last couple since I went live last couple days, just like just gratitude, you know. It's like I've definitely had some moments. Like definitely had some ebb moments the last couple days. Can't lie about that, but I have had some moments of just like of just so much gratitude. And while I do like show up and provide messages and things like that, like you guys have also supported me like incredibly so, significantly so, including my patrons. Like patrons, I love you. I promise I will do a live hangout with you guys soon. I like as I was going live here, I was like, damn it, I should have done this with my patrons. I just there hasn't really been space, you know, with this move to like process things like that. Um, but yeah, I'm just great. I'm just really grateful. I'm very grateful for all the support that I've received from patrons, from YouTube, people, you know, people I've had sessions with. It's like it's inspiring and it's kind of astonishing at times. Um, and it's hard too when I take big breaks like this because I haven't done a sign reading in a while, right? Because of the move and like I think every content creator gets that worry in the back of their head, like, oh shit, like, like I haven't put out, you know. Um, but the fact that I can take breaks like that when I need to is also a blessing, like a serious blessing, and it only is possible because of you guys. Um, yeah, I'm like, I'm just really in my feels. Like, what can I say? I've just been really in my feels. I've been really in my heart for all of what is in the heart, you know. So just thank you. Just a big fat thank you. Um, I would like to make some space for a more practical like thank you too in this week. I think tonight, I think there's still some things like I'm processing like personally that I can still feel it like needs to move through me. But tomorrow I can feel it. Like tomorrow feels like a very practical, like material moving, you know, through my 3D life kind of day too. So I think that's gonna help like put me back into gear a little bit. To even just work more with you guys too. So it's an energetic exchange. It is. I'm just so grateful for it. I'm just so grateful for it. It's like I know I keep saying that over and over. Um, but I am because while I have been doing readings and channelings and astrology stuff like with you guys for you guys too. How do I want to say? I've been on my own individual journey too, like all of us, right? But I have been on my own individual journey of spiritual matters, you could say, and initiations and things of that nature. And a lot of times it has been incredibly difficult. And I could have only have done that and like dealt with that because of the support that I receive from patrons and from YouTube and people I have sessions with. And of course, like friends alike too, which they know. I know y'all know. Y'all know who you are. Um, yeah, I could not have done that. I could not have done that without the support from you guys. Honest, like hand to God, like I could not, and God knows it. That's like that's also why things have happened the way they've happened. This was the most challenging year of my existence. LOL, my 29th year won't playing around. LOL. Oh, your Saturn return too. Shit. Yep. No fucking around. No. I mean, you became a mom. I know that was, I don't think that was this year in particular. I don't totally remember if it was this year or last year. Things are so fuzzy. But that's a big deal. It was wild, LOL. Yeah, that's a big deal. That is a huge deal. That's a huge shift, not just to your reality, but like your identity as a woman. Like, that is a huge milestone, you know? Huge, huge. Mm. Tonight, I actually had a very sweet invitation for a Christmas dinner, which I was like, I was over the moon. I was like, it was just very, very sweet the way it came about. And so I spent tonight with a family, and they have like a couple like little babies and little ones, and it's like being around that energy is just so precious. So precious. It's like obviously they're not my children, right? But just to like watch them, just to watch them and just to see how they interact and just how much is going on in there is amazing, you know? Let's see. Year 30 was wild. Yeah. My daughter just turned 1. Oh, she's a Christmas baby. Oh. Oh. Well, happy birthday to her. Actually, happy birthday to you too, because that was a day of birth for you. Right? Like, actually, I don't think we talk about that enough. Again, I have never birthed a human out of me, but like everyone's birthday like is a day of birth like for their mother too in some way, shape, or form. Like it's kind of amazing when you think about it that way, right? I know this is a bummer, but can we touch on people who did you dirty doing better in life than you? Wait, seemingly feeling cheated by the universe. Wait. I'm like, I can't, I'm having trouble processing that statement. Can we touch on people who did you dirty by doing better in life than you? I don't understand. I don't understand. That is a synchron. It's a robe. It's a robe. I like, okay, when I saw it, I was like, I have to. Like, literally I looked at it and I was actually in the store because I needed a coat. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I have to. It was so hard to say no. And it was pretty affordable. I think it was like maybe $12. I don't know, something like that. It's very comfortable. It's very cozy. And it's short friendly, which I appreciate because for those who've never met me in person, I'm very short. I'm fun size. I'm very well, tiny that way. um Waiting for you to go live. We love the babies. Yes. That's why I told my customers at H&M, happy birthday for them, for the moms. Yeah. The day a mother was birthed. Exactly. I think she was saying people who mistreated her are succeeding in life. Oh, I see. Um, I everyone's journey is different. Everyone's journey is different. And I think that's also why it's when you can, it is best to just try to keep your eyes on your own path, your own paper, so to speak. Cause like it could be really easy to look at someone and feel like they're winning at life. And if they, you know, did you wrong or disrespected you, you know, being a human, it can be really easy to like feel some kind of way about that, you know? But the truth is we never really know what's really going on in someone's life. Like we really don't. We really don't. Like don't even get me started. On what people assume about me and my life. Um, you just don't know. And even if they are succeeding in some way, uh, sorry, I don't know, there's like energy moving through me. How do I want to say this? I want to be careful of how I say this. It doesn't mean you're losing at life, right? If you're perceiving someone winning, it doesn't mean you're losing at life. And it also, how do I want to say? There's so many things I want to say here, and I just want to be careful because, like, I think we've all been there. I think we've all felt that way, you know? I know I certainly have in my past about certain individuals. Hold on. Clyde was going to move the tripod. But I've also just learned over time that when you deal with somebody, sometimes, like, we have a bad day. Sometimes the really negative parts of ourselves come out, and sometimes people truly are awful, right? Like, that is a thing. I'm not discounting that. I'm definitely not discounting that. But sometimes we do get the bad version of somebody for whatever reason, because it was a bad day or it was just a combination of the connection. Who knows, right? You okay, Clyde? Um, and it doesn't mean that like someone should be condemned in their life just because they hurt us, you know? Um, I feel like everyone does innately deserve to quote unquote win at life. Um, but I get it. There are some really awful people. Like I wouldn't say that about Hitler. I think most people would not say that about Hitler, for example. But I think you understand what I'm getting at. I think you understand what I'm getting at. Clyde and this tripod. I know, Clyde, stop. He just has to touch it. He literally has his body like up against one of the legs and he's like all wrapped up and he knows what he's doing because he keeps looking back at me every time I say something. Huh, buddy? He just like huffed. Mm. We can't control what others choose. Clyde, still love you, buddy. I love that you guys love him so much, by the way. It just, as a cat mom, it also just makes me very happy. I know I've been someone's disappointment, source of pain, and I don't want them to think I'm doing better than them in any way. Yeah, it's like that's the thing too. It's like I know I've probably hurt like people in my past. Like I'm sure I have, because again, we're all human and we fuck up, right? It's interesting we're talking about this because it's kind of reminding me of what I was talking about, not last video. Actually, I don't remember which video it was, but just like the water component of the energy they're moving into, like North Node Pisces, Jupiter Cancer. Both of those energies are very much like forgiveness, you know, forgiveness, mending connections, coming from the heart to heart. But even like Mars retrograding through Cancer is also part of that, which we're going to experience in about, where are we again? Oh, yeah, duh, it's Christmas. So, like, where are we? Like 10 days, roughly. Rough. Because I think it's January 6th, Mars goes into Cancer. I'm going to be very happy when Mars goes into Cancer. I cannot lie to you guys. I'm like, the Mars Leo's a vibe, but Mars Cancer, I don't know. For me personally, I think it's just gonna feel better with all my water. I can't wait. I have Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus in Pisces in the third. Ooh. Are you a Sun Aries or Aqua? Curious. Do you believe we're all reflections of each other, even when people what people are reflecting is negative? Always. How do I want to say? I think there's always something we can see about ourselves when we're having an exchange with somebody, no matter what the nature of that exchange is. I hope that answers your question. But that's how I feel about it, at least at this stage of my life. Who knows? Always subject to change as we grow and evolve and all that, and age. Definitely as we age. Yeah, I feel like in any given moment you can see something about yourself or learn something about yourself based off of an exchange you're having with another person. And if someone is being negative, I don't think it's necessarily how do I want to say? I don't think it's necessarily like showing you your negativity. Like I don't believe that that's how mirroring or projection works. You know what I mean? Um the way someone is behaving or acting or the words they're using can reflect something to you about yourself, but it doesn't have to be exactly that thing. You get me? I think you guys get me. I have been able to sense people's pain, nasty feeling, negative, sad energy when they get triggered around me. I feel I need a salt bath after. I do feel so that, excuse me. Yeah, salt baths, spiritual baths. I was telling someone recently, my place has a bathtub. Can't even tell you what a saving grace that is to have a bathtub that you can actually take a bathtub in. That you can actually take a bath in. It's not like it's not fancy. It's just big enough for an adult person. Because so many places just have like the cheapest, smallest go-to bathtubs, and you're just like, what human other than a child could take a bath in this? Like, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, baths, spiritual baths, salt baths, that I haven't had that for years at this point regularly. So having that accessible is I'm not gonna say life changing, that's a little dramatic. Game changing for me, just energetically, you know? Their feelings not always a reflection, them healing and purging. Right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's like if someone's like acting like a crazy racist psycho, you're probably not a racist psycho, is my guess. I'd probably put some money on that. If you're here, you probably aren't that kind of person. Um, but maybe that's also gonna like bring up your own stuff, you know, or it's like show you something about who you are as a person, not necessarily being a racist psycho, right? That was an extreme example, but you understand what I'm saying. Baths are life changing. They kind of okay. That is how I initially felt about it, but I know that's a very strong, bold statement. But I did take one. I've only been in my place for like a couple days, which is also blowing my mind. I haven't been here that long. And I did already take a bath, and it was just like life changing. Honestly, it completely made me 180 on my energy, and I needed it. I sorely needed it. I can't go a week without a bath. Yeah. I've been looking into Chiron, which is in Capricorn, and my sixth house. I also found it trines my Venus. Ooh. Oh, Chiron Capricorn sixth house. That is a gnarly placement. I'm also wondering if your Venus is Taurus or Virgo, because like Chiron and Capricorn is already this like wound of achievement, right? Like, am I doing enough? Am I worthy enough? Am I successful enough? Am I stable enough? Do I have enough money? Do I have enough for the future? Like a lot of insecurity or fears around that. And then you put that in the sixth house where like that's where we grind to experience those things. Um Self-critical. Yeah, self-critical could totally be part of that too. It can also create like a judgmental, critical kind of stance with self or being very sensitive to that, you know? Um, yeah, I feel like that'd be kind of a gnarly placement for it. Of course, it always depends on your whole chart, as I always say. Hold on, I have to adjust, and I didn't mean to flash. I'm sorry. It's like I love this row, but it does not stay closed. Now I'm like I should have wore a shirt. Sorry, my bad, my bad. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this without knocking the tripod over or disturbing Clyde. Okay, there we go. Getting to know Chiron is hard, but so worth it. But I cried when I started sitting with my kids' Chiron. Hold on. It changed the way I do things. And that's the other thing too, like, I'm not a parent. I would love to be a parent. After tonight, like, I, words, I'm sorry. There have been a lot of moments where like that topic has come up in the last couple of years, and I've been like, I've made peace with either reality, if I have a kid or if I don't have a kid. But being around kids tonight, it was like, it's like, I really like this vibe, like a lot. And if I were to be a parent, I I would study my kids' charts, not to like forecast things, but just to like get a good sense or idea of like how to work with them for their best like way of operation, right? And just navigating even human design, right? Like if I have a projector child, for example, right? Like I'm gonna let them take naps. Like I'm gonna let them sleep as much as they need to because they need to, right? Or if I have a generator child, I'm not gonna hold their feet to the fire to fall asleep at 8 p.m. because they're probably not going to be able to unless I make them run around in circles in the yard until they pass out. Like, you know, some people would be such good mothers. I don't know if I'll get the chance or will. Rhoda, you remember that dream I texted you about? You're pregnant and it was the end of the world. We were protecting you. I ended up pregnant after that dream. Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy to think how long ago that was. That was a long it feels like a long time ago. You know? I have Chiron Virgo, my sixth house, sextiles, my Aries ascendant. Mm, interesting. I'm a projector and I found out I have to have major rest periods. Yeah. Projectors need that. And it's funny too when you have a parent and a child who are like such different profiles. So my mom's a projector and I'm a generator. And I rarely slept as a child, go figure. But she slept a lot. Not like she was like sleeping, like overly sleeping, but she was definitely a napper. She could fall asleep literally at will within seconds, which always amazed me. Um, but right, it was like just figured I would just eventually get sleepy. Oh, sorry, text coming through. Eventually, I would just sleep just like that, and it's like no, because I'm not wired that way. Sleep as a kid, I needed it. School was hell for empath kids. We can't project it here too. Oh my god, yeah, that. What profile even, honest to God, actually thrives in these school environments? I just feel like, sorry about that. I feel like it doesn't work for anybody. I don't sleep through the night for 10.5 months. When you were pregnant, or like, I assume when you were pregnant. I I also can't imagine everything that comes with pregnancy. Like, I've heard things, but I feel like even till this day, there's not a full, like, how do I want to say? I feel like there's not a full depiction or understanding of all that really can happen during pregnancy, you know? Don't get me started. I want to pull them out, but I can't. Ugh. I mean, some people have it better than others with the school system, depending on where you're at. And some people, it's such a crapshoot. Like, I think back to when I was a kid and compared to now, I don't know how I would fare in schools these days. I mean, I feel like I barely I was not, I wasn't functioning. Like, wait, let me take that back. I was not functioning in school, in the school system. I was neurodivergent and an empath and highly sensitive and smart enough to just like brunt force my way through school. Like, you know, as far as like the classes are concerned. But yeah, I school was hell. School was hell until I went to college, and then it was like, I don't know. I feel like depending on your neurodivergence, for those who are neurodivergent, college can be a very interesting playground, metaphorically speaking, because there's just so much more leeway. And especially if you're like just really creative, or excuse me, or you have like a passion, or I almost want to say fixation, college at times I think can actually be a really interesting playground for neurodivergence, also depending on the school. But we have a great school system, but that's the problem, it's too much. High school is traumatizing. Damn, you're still live. I just woke up. I haven't been live that long. It's only been like 30 minutes. Um, College was fun compared to high school. Yeah, agreed. Totally. I felt my high school was a big daycare. Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. Mm. Suspension, detention, honor roll. I'm ready to have kids when I know I have a partner that honors what I believe is good for my kids, health and education. That is definitely the ideal. That is the ideal situation. Also, I think one of the many reasons people are also just not having as many kids these days. Um, well, I think there's a lot of reasons why people are not having kids as much. But I think that's one of them. Because ideally, yeah, like it would be good to have two people on the same page, which seems astronomically difficult these days. Unfortunately. Um, I mean, with every unique person, there's a unique way to raise a child, but yeah, it just seems way harder these days. It is ideal for sure, and why I haven't had biological kids. I hated school, the structure, the demanding routine, controlling authority figures. There's a few really special teachers that made it worthwhile. Yeah. Yeah, and I also found like with the controlling authority figures, I feel like that is like such a major fucking power trip for them. And I mean, I hear crazy stories now in the media of like what teachers think they can get away with. Granted, I also know that they're not dealing with as many tools or resources and things of that nature. So I'm sure there's a lot more crazy making going on and people are like pushed to their limits. But yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like a lot of teachers or principals or what have you just really loved a power trip, you know? And they didn't actually like their jobs. It's just like their ability to power trip made them feel good about themselves, to have that kind of control over another human being. Even like with the parents, the way they would treat the parents too. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit going on in schools. It's the only reason I haven't had kids yet, because no one I met was a good partner for me. Conditioning kids to be a corporate cog in the wheel. I told the school that they think I'm crazy. Well, we all know you're not crazy. I mean, it's like it's kind of proven that that's what that's like, right? That's just kind of how it is. Like even like the way we set up schools, at least here in the States, I can't speak for other countries. Um, Here in the States, like it was literally meant to be like an assembly line of education. That's how it was set up. It wasn't set up for people to like grow in knowledge. Like it wasn't set up that way. It was literally set up to get people educated in the right things for what society wanted them to be good at in an assembly line format, for them to be like churned out and immediately be able to go and fit in these different positions in the way that was deemed right for the economy, right? It wasn't for actual human development. Like it wasn't for that at all. It's gross. I'm disgusted with it. I don't think I could put my child through school with how normal it is for shootings. God, that's another thing too. The fact that that has become so much more normalized is pretty scary. You know, like where I went to school, like elementary school, wasn't the safest neighborhoods. We'd have like lockdowns and stuff, but I was never like scared. I was never concerned. But to know that that is like an active issue where something like that could happen within a school is pretty scary. Wait. How do I Darkness Divine, thank you for the 4.99. Thank you. If I may, vibes of wait, let me come back. Hold on. It because the chat is like super tiny, I keep losing it. Hold on. If I may, vibes of Chiron in Scorpio. Oh, fifth house. Immediately trust issues comes to mind. Like immediately comes to mind. Hold on a second. Hold on. Clyde. Stop. Okay. Hold on, let me sit with that. Yeah, immediately like yeah, I really want to say trust issues, but I feel like that can manifest in a lot of different ways. Um Even insecurities with actually with your sexual energy, right? Because fifth house is creativity and it's dating and it's romance, and there can be an insecurity of getting into that part of you with another person and feeling safe with that, trusting that experience, right? Oh, that's immediately what comes to mind. Also, I'm getting this feeling too of like, and I don't know your chart, right? But I'm also getting this feeling too of like trying things or trying to have fun and like trying to play and feeling like, oh wait, maybe that's not right. Oh wait, maybe that's not okay. Like almost having a little sensitivity or potential insecurity of like going too far with something or too out of the norm for something or too like yeah, like too out of the norm with like a certain activity or behavior or etc, especially if like you are pushing the limits, so to speak. Um, that's just kind of what I feel innately. And that's what I would say with that. I'm sure there's other ways that can manifest, again, also depending on your chart. Um, but that's just immediately what would come through with that. Mm. He was homeschooled at an early elementary age, so I hope it helps with an open mind at early age and development. Beneficial schooling. I think as long as like parents are on top of it, right? Like I think homeschooling could be great. I do think it does help to have oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the extra. Thank you. Merry Christmas. And Happy New Year and all that good stuff. Yeah, with homeschooling, I think as long as parents are actually on top of their shit as far as like what a kid needs developmentally, I think that it can be really great. I do think that socializing is important, but I think the way that we socialize kids in school is also not the greatest either. Right? Because we don't facilitate healthy connecting, right? It's not part of the program, right? So to speak. Amber, thank you for the $5. Thank you. I appreciate a good little foxy fox. Um, yeah. So and again, I've never been homeschooled. I haven't known a lot of people who've done homeschooling. But I imagine if you're homeschooling that there are like programs to get kids together to do stuff, whether it is like to play sports or music or just socialize. I imagine that's part of it. because that is part of development, is like social development. But yeah, I just think the way we do it in schools is not healthy. Not to mention, like, I'm just gonna say it. I know we all know it. There are also kids in school that also, unfortunately, are not a good influence socially. We know that. And it's probably because they got some shit going on at home, which is not their fault, unfortunately. But that's not a good breeding ground either. Like, I don't want to send my kid to school to be traumatized by another child. Like, I don't want to do that, right? So homeschooling also has that advantage. Um, so I mean, how do we deal with that, right? Like, how do we deal with the socializing of children that include children who are unfortunately already at the short end of the stick when it comes to that? And you can have a negative impact on other children who need that development, right? How do you deal with that? Like the whole, oh, put them in detention, right? Or like what or whatever. What else do they do with these kids? I mean, like detention, suspension, like that doesn't actually do anything, right? Therapy's great, but like I don't think there's good tools for that either, right? Mm. More people should be the same. Sports under parents' watch. Wait, croissant. Croissant sounds really good, actually. I can't lie. Some families homeschool and mix in classes at magnet school. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, that is interesting. Hold on, I gotta readjust. I'm not on the most like comfy piece of furniture. Hold on. I don't want to flash you guys again. If I put the eggnog down, it'll be easier. Okay. Ah, there we go. Better. Better, better, better. I don't know, man. So much of my trauma I turned into my motherfucking magic. I don't know. We all choose our journeys for a reason. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I agree with that too. 100%. You want to be a clinical counselor for kids? It's very needed. It's very needed. Mm. Ooh. Damn, I was doing so good. Hold on. I've got some water over here. Mm. Mm. Sorry, guys. Y'all know how it goes. Let's see. Katie Foxdrums, Merry Christmas. Thanks for hanging out. Can you tell me about Chiron and Cancer in the the 8th house? God, we got some tough placements tonight. Thank you for the $10, Katie. So Chiron and Cancer is kind of the epitome of the mama wound, unfortunately. I just say unfortunately because the collective's been moving through that a lot, and I'm also Chiron and Cancer, so I understand. I understand it. Chiron Cancer, like I said, epitome of the mama wound. Before we even get to the 8th house component, right? It also can create an insecurity of feeling emotionally safe and stable. It can kind of lean into codependency sometimes. Hold on. Sometimes it can also create a feeling of not feeling loved. Even if you have a lot of loving people around you telling you they love you, you may never truly believe it or feel it, or you fear it's not real, or fear it can be like taken away. That's Chiron Cancer. But with it being in the 8th house, I mean, even just the connection of like mother to birthing and sex, that really comes up. Just kind of feeling into that. Similar to like the Chiron Scorpio in the 5th house, where there's like that safety issue, right? Where Chiron Scorpio was more about trust. And I think trust is part of Chiron Cancer in the 8th house too, but it's like, it's a lack of feeling safe. Potentially a lack of feeling safe within sexual relationships, or even like codependent issues in relationships, but like really in the sexual component, I just like tuning into it. I just keep feeling not safe in the body, is what I keep feeling. Like, maybe even being hypersensitive to like feelings of being violated potentially. I wonder if it's because of my Chiron placement. Oh, 34 and still no kids. There could be so many reasons for that that are also not rooted in astrology. Like when it comes to like having kids, like I understand the temptation to like look into your chart to like see like how that could be or manifest or all of that because I've done that too, like totally guilty of it. But excuse me, I've also realized that like how do I want to say it doesn't have to fuel a narrative about having kids or not having kids. I do think, yeah, we can look at astrology to predict if we most likely can have kids or not, but I think that also depends more on actual synastry than your own individual chart. I think it actually does have an influence, like depending on who you may have kids with, right? I do resonate with the emotional insecurity, not feeling safe, and even feeling violation. Yeah, because tuning into it, that's what I kept feeling. Like, again, I keep doing this too. Like, keep doing this. Like, anxious, and like panicky about like the body, especially in like a sexual way. Like, that's mostly what I'm feeling. So maybe that's how it's manifested for you. Because for anybody who's new, obviously I study astrology, right? Um, but I am a seer and I'm an intuitive, like first and foremost. And so I'll start just with the explanation, but then I'll start to actually feel what that energy is like. And then I'll communicate what I'm sensing and what I'm feeling. So I think what I was picking up on is how it's manifested for you in your own life. Um, Also, sometimes when you get Chiron in, well, okay, how do I want to say this? Malefic or trauma associated energies like Chiron or Pluto or Saturn even. Not really Mars. Like Saturn, Pluto, Chiron, planets like that that are in the 8th house or they deal with Cancer or they deal with like the 12th house. It's like I want to be careful with how I say this. It can evoke a trauma. It can evoke a trauma. It can evoke a breeding ground for trauma, like a sexual trauma or a trauma with like cancer. Speaking of the cancer component, right? Like a trauma with like maternal energies, or if you are a female as a woman, trauma as a woman. Like if I see Pluto in the 4th house, I definitely like if I'm working with a client, I take note of that if I see Pluto there. Especially if it is in a sign, right? Like Scorpio, for example, like that could be sexual trauma in the home. Doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be. I want to make that very clear. This is why astrology is an art. It's a study, but it's also an art and it is also subjective because the way a planet and a sign and a house work all together can manifest in so many different ways. And free will choice is also a part of that, not just yours, but the people that you deal with, right? So, also important to note that. But like if I see that in someone's chart before I have a session when I'm working on getting all my notes together and I start talking with them and I can just feel that energy, if I feel it's important to speak on, I'll say it and I'll bring that into the session, right? So just kind of sharing all the little ins and outs of that stuff. But um Alejandra, you're so sweet. Thank you. Wait. Uh Chiron Gemini in the 5th. Tight trines his Mercury. Oh, hold on. In the 9th. And loose trines his. Oh, did you guys just hear that? I don't know what that was. That sounds like a grand air trine, if I'm reading that correctly. Ay, ay, ay. Hold on, let me come back up here. I keep trying to come back, but because the chat keeps moving, it keeps moving. Um, okay. Chiron Gemini 5th house. Jesus. Mercury Libra Libra 9th house. Okay. Got back. and loosely trines his Aqua rising. I actually think that's a good thing. When you have Chiron in a supportive aspect, right? It can actually, sorry, something's going on over here. Like, some interesting energies going on. Sorry, let me come back. So the grand air trine, when you have Chiron part of something like that, a grand trine brings positive energy innately. That's just what it does. So when you have Chiron in the mix, it actually is a help. It's actually an assist of some kind. So Chiron in Gemini with Mercury in Libra and Aqua rising, communication's a massive part of that. Gemini, fifth house, and Mercury, not to mention the air component, right? I almost want to say it's like his life experience. Yeah, his life experience. That's just what I'm getting with that. His life experience. It just keeps coming through. Overcoming the Chiron Gemini. To believe that he can be his authentic self. To see that it's okay to be his authentic self. Especially with like Gemini in the fifth house, that's very shapeshiftery. I'm not saying he's a shapeshifter. Oh, thank you for the 189, D Warren. Thank you. Deidre and Sherry loves you. Thank you. Hold on, I'm trying to like it. There we go. But just feeling into that more. Because having Chiron and Gemini in the fifth house, if it wasn't part of a grand trine, I mean, that's absolutely insecurity of like of friendship. Friendship and trying new things and having fun and being playful, because Gemini is very, very playful. But maybe having like early experiences of those insecurities, but as time has gone on, having more experiences where he's learned about himself and learned that that's okay to have uncomfortable experiences, or that he can be different. He doesn't have to be like everyone else, because fifth house is also Leo. Fifth house is where we also have conformity come through. And not being an Aqua rising, that's very much not that, right? So that's kind of what I'm feeling with that. Yeah, it's just a lot of life experiences that have taught him it is okay to be him. Even if he had early experiences where he had trouble speaking, potentially. I don't know if he had a speech impediment. It's just something I was feeling out. I don't know if he has had a speech impediment, but it's just something I was feeling. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Oh, you gotta go. Okay, Brooke. My eyes are getting heavy. Been chasing the kid all day. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Brooke. Bye. Thanks for hanging out. It was good to see you virtually. So have fun with the little one. They're blessings. So have fun. I want to blame the holiday season for sleeping a handful of hours in the past few days. Been seeing a lot of sixes. So I want to say it has the integer 2. Yeah. I got expression as well. Yeah, that's so Alejandro. That's what I would say. I think that his grander trine actually helps him a lot of dealing with his Chiron and teaching him that it is okay to be him and to be different and to be unique. But also at the same time, I feel like as he embraces his uniqueness, um, he also finds that he actually can be really good with people. Because that's also what that screams to me too. Especially the Mercury Libra in the ninth house, that kind of screams influence with words, is what that screams to me. And if his Gemini is fifth house, even outside of the Chiron component, he probably is really good with people. And as he gets older, he's only going to get better with people. That's what I feel about that. All I have done is rest on the 20th. I had a harmonic journey and an elephant was my animal guide. Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. I've been doing a lot of resting. I keep trying to unpack and I'm just like, I don't know, it's just not happening. It's like it's happening, it's not happening. I think I do this with every move. And I just keep looking at my shit and I'm just like, I want to get rid of more shit. So I just keep like lists coming through my brain. When Chiron is conjunct other planets, does it exacerbate the Chiron effect? It depends. It really depends. It depends. Like Saturn. Do you see my face? Saturn conjunct Chiron. Yeah, that doesn't feel fun. That feels like that would exacerbate it. Jupiter feels positive, but it can go either way because it's Jupiter. Pluto could exacerbate it, but it also depends on what Chiron's doing in the chart. It also depends on what else is happening. Let's see. I wish I could help you unpack. Oh, thank you. I think I've been having trouble unpacking because I just can't shake this feeling that this is transitionary. And I'm just like, Spirit, you're testing me. Like, honest to God, I'm just like, Spirit, you are so testing me. That's why. Also why I want to get rid of shit. Because if that's the case, I just can't. Just can't deal. I'm good at organizing other people's lives. Oh, I'm sure you are. I am sure you are. I'm heading to bed, but I really needed this tonight. Thank you. I'm gonna go to your site and book a sesh. Oh, I don't have sessions open just yet. Because not settled. But when I am settled, I'm gonna announce, okay? I promise. Wait, where did that go? Marie, thank you for the $5. Can you share any info on the vertex? Ooh. Mine is 27 degrees Virgo. Oh my gosh. I'm a Cappy and Pisces rising and moon. So vertex. So vertex is interesting. Vertex is a calculation, and I forget the calculation, but it's a calculation. It's not a celestial body. And with the vertex, it is supposed to be a point of fate. So if you have any personal planets on your vertex, like conjunct your vertex, or even opposing, which would be the anti-vertex, usually is an indication that anything having to do with that planet, like if it's your moon, for example, actually, oh God, that'd be crazy if it was your moon. I would actually say that leans towards high levels of intuition and just knowing when shit's gonna happen, like crazy shit's gonna happen. That's not a good example. Mars. Okay, let's talk about Mars. Like if Mars is conjunct your vertex, your natal Mars, I almost feel like domino effect with that. Like as you take initiative and action in your life, it almost like you actually can co-create with spirit really well, right? Because it almost causes a trigger of fate, according to like, just astrology, right? But vertex, most people don't have anything working with their vertex. It's more something to look at when you're doing synastry charts or if you're looking at transits, right? If you're looking to see like where the planets are at any given point. So if yours is Virgo 27 degrees, anytime like that season comes around, there's probably a lot of interesting things happening in your life that are unexpected or serendipitous, for example. Or if you are dating or dealing with partnerships or romance or anything like that, you could always look in their charts to see if anything aligns to your vertex. Oh, excuse me. And if that's the case, it'd probably be like a fated sense of a connection. But I would look at it for transits more than anything, just because everybody has a vertex, and whatever your vertex is in that particular season is probably always a very interesting season for you, or where a lot of fated serendipitous things tend to happen. Okay. Or the perception of those things happen. Oh, I gotta adjust again. I'm not used to sitting like this on this furniture either. I'm always used to just laying down. Okay. Better. Could I get a session from you? Like, do you do birth charts? I do. Like I said, I would love to get back to sessions. I would love to. I am not fully set up yet to do that. But I promise when I am, I will announce it. I don't like turning you guys away. I don't. I just know I'm not ready yet to get back into that swing of things. But when I am, I will announce. I promise. No readings from Rhoda this time. Thank you, Alejandra. Thank you. Love your onesie. It's a robe. I don't know why the fact it's a robe makes me so happy. I'm not a onesie person. So there's that. I'm not a onesie person. If this was a hoodie, that would be badass. I can't lie. If it was a hoodie, I'd be very tempted to wear it all the time during this season. But I just love that it's a robe, right? Because it just says winter. It also says like, put me on and sit around the tree. Like, right? I don't know. I just love it. And I won't lie, when I get out of the shower, I definitely put it on. I do. It's very comfortable. Being a patron helps. It's an energy exchange. Yeah, and patrons usually do find out first, like when shit is going on or shit is changing. Just because they are my biggest supporters and they are like, you all hold a special place in my heart, but patrons definitely hold a big space in my heart as well. Because there have been patrons where we've been chatting, we've been in a community together for a very long time in a way that hasn't been with YouTube. And it definitely has soul fam vibes over there. It absolutely does. So they also just know more about what goes on in my life generally, which also, as I make changes or open up for sessions, they usually know when that's going down too. So we'll be ready whenever you are. We know you move on divine timing. I do, don't I? It's like, it's kind of exhausting sometimes. I can't lie. I just, words, I'm sorry. I'm just at an interesting point in my journey right now. Very interesting point in my journey. And I'm just trusting. As hard as it is sometimes, I'm just trusting. I cried hard when Kamala lost. I recommend it. Amazing Patreon. Oh, thank you. Love you always. Love you too, Alejandra. When you say one sign is in another sign's house, what do you mean? So if you go in order of the zodiac, Aries is first, Pisces is last, right? You go like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, da 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 da, right? All the way to Pisces. So that's how the houses are too. The first house is technically the house of Aries. It's the house of self. The second house is technically the Taurus house, the house of value or possessions. For some people, look at it that way. But when you have your natal chart, you may be a Scorpio rising. You may be a Capricorn rising, right? So your first house would be Scorpio or Capricorn, right? And you may have your sun in Capricorn, which means your sun will be in your first house. Or maybe your Venus is in Scorpio, so then that would be in your first house if you're a Scorpio rising, right? But like speaking to the true like zodiac wheel, it is Aries energy. So that's what I mean. That's what I mean by that. I was present and falling in love when the present results happened. Such my Libra moon fantasy. Oh, excuse me. You seem happier since you moved. I definitely feel better. I feel a million times better. That's also why this is such a weird experience, because like, do you would it's an interesting question. Leaving was vital for me. Where I was at was really negatively impacting me, and it was not good. It was not okay. And so leaving, I feel a million times better, but also like getting to where I'm at, I'm like, this is like, I feel like I'm looking around and I'm going like, spirit, what's going on? So, like I said, weird vibes, because I do feel significantly better. But I'm also very aware this is like not my landing spot, so to speak. So, a little on edge, but just trying to trust the process. Just trusting the process. No worries. I'm on mod duties. Yeah. Thank you, Alejandra. Thank you. Oh, and can we all say thank you to all the mods who are just generally on it? So thank you. You make everyone's experience so much better. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Water time. Mm. Thank you, mods. Thank you. I know the mods really appreciate that too. Just getting the recognition. You and your cat can come and live with me. I got an extra room. Kidding, not kidding. I've had a lot of people make that offer for me, which I also very much appreciate. Um, excuse me. Like I said, we'll see how it goes because I know why I'm here. I'll put it that way. I know why I'm in this particular spot right now. I'm very aware of that and I'm ready for it. However, that feeling of like, okay, I'm here for a little while to do what I got to do, like, okay, cringe a little bit. Um, but also, how do I want to say this? Sorry, I swore I just saw something outside. There's a couple people in my life where there are some free will choices that they are making that also impact the timeline. So there's that. It's so weird to be aware of this shit. I can't even to be aware of this stuff sometimes. Just like, is this my life? you know? Um, so I'm aware of that. And that's out of my control. That will just be what it will be, you know? But that's also a weird feeling too. I moved 11 times. Oh my God, in the past 2 years, I definitely understand. Just learning to trust and side-eyeing the universe at the same time. 11 times. Girl. Excuse me. 11 times is a lot. I thought I moved a lot. 11 times in 2 years is a lot. Hold on. Oh, Zay. Thank you, Zay. Ah, thank you for the 199. I'm trying to come back to your comment. Hold on. What piece of astrology impact each of us most? What do you mean by piece of astrology? Like, do you mean like transits? Do you mean like, or is that like your general question? Let's see. 3 for me this year. Oh, jeez. Well, I'm going to try to answer your question as best I can. What piece of astrology impacts each of us most? I mean, I feel like transits, honestly. If I had to give it like one thing, I would say transits, because transits affect the collective in any given moment. And depending on what's going on in your chart, they also indicate major. I know y'all heard that too. I know, Clyde. I didn't like that either. Am I gonna have to get up and investigate? Is one thing that is the most important part of our lives overall. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I would say transits. I would say transits because like we have our natal charts and that can show us a roadmap of us, but it can also show us a roadmap of like aspects of life. But transits are the epitome of what it is to live in the present moment, even in an astrological way. Girl, what was that? I know. I don't know. I'm okay. It is raining. So I'm going to guess that it was water hitting a little, I don't know, tin or something, but it sounded like it was in the house. It sounded like a little cling of a glass is what it sounded like. Um, but it is raining. I'm still learning all the noises too of this place. But that's what I would say. Transits. Yeah, I keep hearing something too. I think it's the rain. I'm just gonna say it's the rain. Let's see. Where's Clyde? He's right here. Chilling. Chilling. The glass. It does. It sounds like glass, like a glass, like it sounds like that to me. I don't know how it sounds in your guys' end, but that's how it sounds in here. You guys are funny. The glass, yeah. I have guard sticks. I have. I do think it's the rain. I do. So like I said, I'm still learning this place, but I know that like at least like on that side, I have seen like a lot of metal things. And if like a big drop of water comes off the roof and hits it just right, it probably would sound like that. So I do think it's the rain. I do think it's the rain. Let's see. We need to send you. I'm okay, you guys. I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh no, I have locks. Yeah, of course I've got locks. Of course. My eyes are so Scorpio. They are. Wait, I gotta know what you mean by that. What you mean? What you mean my eyes are so Scorpio? I gotta know what that means. I bet he makes the best cuddle bear. Let's see. They are? What do you guys mean? I feel like my eyes are very squinty, to be honest. You're watery and cuddly, very warm. I would have loved you around. Oh, I'm a big cuddle bear. I am. I'm a big cuddle monster. I can't lie. And between like my Cancer, my Scorpio, my Libra, I am very much alike. I don't know how else to say it. I'm a very affectionate, very sweet partner. I just am. Well, that is my baseline. However, I will say I am a hardcore Cappy too in my seventh house. So what tends to happen, I'll just be very frank with you guys, in relationships, I am that like sweet, cuddly, like big old mama bear, very affectionate, sweet kind of person. Like that's just how I am when I'm dating somebody. And when it starts getting serious and I can see that they're not like this is gonna sound so Cappy, so Saturn, but I am who I am. I know who I am. When I can see someone is like wavering on the level of work or the like the investment, so to speak, that Saturn comes out pretty quick. And I won't lie, it can go like that very quickly, where I'm like, hey, this is what's balanced, this is what's not balanced, this is what's okay, this is what's not okay. You in or you out. It's like it comes out. And it's really difficult for me to just not be very blunt and just be very honest in that way. And I'll be honest, like I don't want to make anyone feel bad, right? And I know I have in the past and I have worked on that and I have like asked for forgiveness in times where I have been too hard on people. Um, but also I just know what I bring to the table and I know what is required in a commitment. And if I see any level of pussyfooting or any martyr, victim, whatever, I have zero patience for it. Like zero. Absolute nothing. Especially at this point in my life where I've had enough relationships where that's been a thing. Zero. Zero. Got no time for that shit at all. Um so that's just who I am. So I am cuddly and like all that stuff. But I'm also very Saturn. I'm also very Saturn. I've been told by so many partners that I'm cold. Pardon my Saturn. I'm only cold when I gotta like have a talking to, you know? Hold on a second. Let me come back up here. Like you can pierce steel with one glare. If a ghost is there, they just flood from your squint. As a squirt, my eyes have always caused me many explanations to people. I will say I have had to be careful with my eyes. So it's so okay, so it's funny we're talking about this. Were you in a relationship in 2019? No, I wasn't. I wasn't. Um, it's funny because I do notice like when I'm talking to somebody, I do like to look in their eyes because it's how you connect, right? But a lot of people are not comfortable with eye contact. A lot of people, even like neurotypical people, are actually not okay with it. But that's I've realized because when I'm looking into someone's eyes, I'm looking at them. Like I'm seeing them. And it is a lot and it's intense. And so I've realized I've had to like really like rein that in when I'm talking to people because it's just way too uncomfortable, you know? I don't need to like, you know, laser beam into their soul. Like I don't need to be doing that to people. Uh I hope you've felt loved today, because you are. I have. Thank you. Eye contact is very intimate and exposing. It is. It is. Strong eye contact. You see that? I do. I totally do. And sometimes, like, I don't know if you guys have experienced this too. I'm sure a lot of you have, just considering the nature of our community, right? Like, when you are doing that and like you actually start getting information and it's like you kind of go into that like mode of seeing or channeling, and then it's hard to kind of like pull out of it. That happens to me too. It's how one connects. I deeply stare. Yeah. It's hard for me to talk to somebody without eye contact. It's really difficult. Like, I've been practicing it because I also want easier social experiences. I've been practicing it for a while, but it's just my instinct to do that. You give me Joseph with the coat so many colors. Really? Eye contact. Let me see someone's soul if I have to divert. Yeah. I used to back away from eye contact, but now I love it. I love it. And if someone can meet me there, it's like, ooh, okay. You know? Eye contact is my foreplay. Oh my God, you guys. Oh, Marie. Thank you again. Thank you. I have another one. Chiron and Lilith. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, in Aries. Mm. And Mars retrograde in the third. I assume Mars is Gemini. It could be Taurus, depending on the houses, but I assume Mars is Gemini in this case. Wow. Chiron and Lilith in Aries. Immediately, I gotta be honest with what I feel. I immediately felt this daring, almost like, oh, it felt like this is how it felt. How do I want to say that? On one end, I'm getting this like entitled, like, I can act this way because I'm entitled to act this way. I deserve to act this way. Almost like approving of oneself was interesting as how that was coming through. But at the same time, it's like, God, there's such an interesting energy. But at the same time, that's happening because of the wounding too. Like, there's probably, for anyone who has that placement, it's just what I'm feeling with it. So take it as you will. Chiron with Lilith and Aries, that Chiron Aries component of like that wounded sense of identity and self probably would also coincide with experiences of people making one feel lesser than or not enough, or like they're not a whole person, or they don't really know, or they're naive. And I can already feel like with the Lilith being like, no, this is who I am, like really putting that forward, and like very like like very much like that. And with Mars being in the third house, again assuming it's Gemini retrograde, God, I feel like that would exacerbate it, because Mars in Gemini can be scattered. It can be a little impulsive, because Gemini wants to get into new things, and Gemini wants to talk, and Gemini wants to learn, and Gemini wants to get information, and Gemini wants to be quick, 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 quick. And that Lilith with Chiron Aries, I'm feeling that like quickness, but it's from this place of a wounded sense of self or pride, and like trying to prove oneself, right? And then you get Mars in the mix in that with communication. I feel like that would only exacerbate it. Um, that's what I feel. That's what I feel. The first over the hill takes most of the damage. I'm not familiar with that phrase. The last serious man I dated, we both had Lilith, third house, Cancer. Oh, that's interesting. What is it like to date someone who has the same Lilith as you? Wait, if you both had that in your third house, you're both the same rising too, aren't you? That's very curious. I don't think I've ever dated anybody who was also a Cancer rising. At least not to my knowledge, anyway. Um, I will say I have been having a new experience though, um, in connection, but like astrologically, you know, when we're talking about all these like different case studies, if you will. Weren't you WaterBaby before? Yes, I was. Yes, I was. This channel's been around for quite some time. WaterBaby to BOMISpirit. I was thinking about that earlier today too. Um, but this new, like, hold on. I'm curious of your perspective on AI from a spiritual perspective. I see it pulling from the fourth and fifth dimensions and dream space from the content I've seen. To be honest with you, AI is something I really try to not even dabble into or tune into. Oh my god, I remember WaterBaby Tarot. Yep, that's me. I even had like a weird like second where I was like, should I change the name back to WaterBaby Tarot? I'm like, no. It's like, why would I do that? Anyway, for the AI question, yeah, it's something I honestly just try to avoid where I can. And to be honest, like even speaking on it, I I'm not necessarily an advocate for AI. Are there spiritual implications? How could there not be? Right? You are Water Baby Tarot. Yes, I am. Excuse me. Um, how could there not be spiritual implications? I also can see the narrative and the thought form of like, oh, we're just AI from another creator, right? Just like we're creating AI, something created us. And I could see how people could even look at us as AI, right? I see that thought form, I see that narrative. I don't necessarily ascribe to that. Do I think there's a reality where that's the case? Yeah. I don't think it's our reality. I don't think it's my reality, I guess I should say. Um, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that's just kind of where I'm at with it. Mm. Let's see. I love Lilith. She's our feminine strength. She is. She very much is. Oh, I keep trying to say the thing I was trying to say. Um, um, so I am having this new experience as far as like case study, right, of astrology connections and synastry and all that, where this person and I, it's crazy. So angles, right? We actually have two angles that are exact, which is crazy. That's new experience for me. But we also have multiple natal celestial bodies like Mars, Moon, etc., that are also on these angles and on the other angles that are not exactly working together. So it's kind of trippy because basically it's like the angles are these like specific points on the chart that really speak to, right, the ascendant, like the self, the identity, the descendant, like experience with partnerships, and even just the reflection of self, or even like the inner self, the complement, the I see, your roots, your ancestry, your sense of stability and security, your internal world, your midhaven, your external world, and your reputation and your future, right? And so to have those angles like working together that closely, like degree to degree, almost minute to minute. It's like it's super super close. With other planets, it's interesting. It's interesting. And like I said, just kind of trippy. It's not totally mirroring. It's close though. It's like oh, what was it? Let's see if I can remember. I think it's their IC is conjunct my ascendant, and their midhaven is conjunct my descendant. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I also have intercepted houses. So, excuse me, my IC and midhaven are a little off from where theirs is. Excuse me. So it's fascinating, right? Because like, what does that mean astrologically? And then you have the planets mixed in, which is also crazy. Um, yeah, I've just been sitting and observing and just taking it in. Uh, did you meet this person and say, I need to do your chart? Well, not exactly. It's like, wait a minute. I guess the first time I met them, I did look at their chart because I can't help myself. Um, but no, it's like, hold on a second. Hold on. Clyde's moving and grooving. You okay, bubby? Yeah. Okay. Um, no, we've established a connection. It's like it wasn't just some random like meeting somewhere, you know. Um, every time I see photos and videos of it, just reminds me of exactly what dreams look like, sort of nonsensical yet realistic. Oh wait, what did I miss? What did I miss? Oh my god, shut up. That's how I feel about Anunnaki. Wait, did I miss something? Oh, Katie. Hey, Katie. Oh, thanks for tuning into my Chiron. I look forward to getting my chart read sometime. I also have Saturn in Capricorn, second house. Aspecting the Chiron. Just felt something really weird. Yeah, definitely look forward to a session. Definitely. And thank you again for another super chat. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Mind if I eat a bag of blue chews and watch you? Don't mind. I feel like it should be a prerequisite. Wait. Hold on. I feel like I'm missing part of the chat. I think I am. Hold on. How do I chat filter all messages? There we go. Maybe that's part of it. Hold on. I'm missing something. Wait. Okay, that's fine. I guess we'll just continue. There are some weirdos tonight. I never seen this many looky-loos. Yeah, it's Christmas. People be feeling stuff, you know? At Chan. Where's Chan? I literally feel like I'm trying to find specific usernames and I can't find them for some reason. Am I misreading this? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Hi. Grand Rising from South Africa. Grand Rising. And everybody is off work and school. Shanna's gone for the weirdness. Oh. Okay. Frankie, thank you for the 199. Thank you. How do you interpret cusps? Libra 28 degrees. Oh, okay. Ascendant? Is that what you said? Yeah, Libra 28 degrees ascendant. When it comes to cuspy stuff, it gets me very intrigued because I feel like I have to be way more intuitive with that than just rely on traditional astrology. And even so many things. Also, my crown is starting to really hurt, and so I'm thinking there's just a lot of energy being stirred up, so I'm probably not going to stay on much longer. Just to give you guys a heads up, I'm like feeling a lot up here, even with my head covered. But with cuspies, something else that I think is kind of interesting is I've started studying destiny cards earlier this year, and it's really shown me how unique and complex cuspy energy really is. I always kind of felt that way, even though a lot of astrologers disagree, which I'm like, how could you disagree with that? But like, whatever. To each their own. Again, that's why it's an art form along with a study. But even like destiny cards, like cuspies have very specific, like very, very specific channels of compatibility. I'll say it that way. Channels of compatibility. I don't know the way to say that. So when I'm looking at a cuspy, whether it's their sun or ascendant, I go really intuitive on it, to be honest. Having a late degree versus early degree, I think actually leans into the sign it's in a little bit more. So what I mean by that is if you are like at the tail end of Libra, right? Like Libra 27, 28, 29 degrees, you probably have a little bit more Libran going on versus like early degree Scorpio, like 0, 1, 2, which they probably have actually a little bit more Libran going on than Scorpio, is what I would just innately say, but I would actually just read it intuitively. So it'd be unique to the person and their chart. If you've seen Snapchat ads, I'm not even on Snapchat. I didn't even know Snapchat had ads. Does your gift run in your family? Yep. Even if they want to accept that or not. It does. Both sides, I would say. But you know how the world is. But yeah, it definitely is ancestral for sure. I have Snapchat, but I never log on. LMAO. To be honest with y'all, I don't even know how Snapchat works. I really don't. I've only used it once and it was years ago and it confused the shit out of me. I don't even know what it could be like now. There's too many social media accounts. Agreed. Agreed. And it's funny too, because it's like I was banned from Facebook however long ago. And that's such a go-to for people for different things like selling things or verification. And every time I say I can't, I've been banned from Facebook. They're like, "Oh, like like it's such a hindrance." And I'm like, it's fine." Like it is what it is, you know? Hold on. Thank you for the 9.99 lyric. Ah, hold on. Merry Christmas. Been following you since WaterBaby. Would love to hear your insight on Pisces Sun. Oh, opposing Virgo Chiron. Wow. That'll be the last question because my head is killing me and I definitely gotta go. Opposing Chiron. Oh my gosh, come back. Virgo Chiron. I'm seeing stuff in the 8th house with a trine and Neptune. Capricorn in the 12th. Ooh. Ooh. It makes me curious what your moon is. Pisces Sun. So 8th and 2nd, right? 8th. I'm assuming Virgo's in the 8th. Pisces Sun in the 2nd. Opposing Virgo Chiron. Virgo Chiron tends to bring about definitely the perfectionistic side of the shadow of Virgo, or even like overdoing. Just like a general insecurity of like, is this right? Is this not right? Is this enough? Is this not enough? Like it can definitely bring about that. And again, like overcompensating tends to come up with Chiron and Virgo. With it opposing the sun, it would be exacerbated, I would say, because your sun doesn't really want to do anything with that. Your son doesn't really want to worry about shit like that. But with your son being in the 2nd house, I'm hearing loosey goosey is what I'm hearing with that. With Pisces sun in the 2nd house, because 2nd house is about value, right? It's beliefs, it's things that we hold value to, like money, self-esteem, things like that, even aesthetics to a certain point. And I'm just hearing loosey goosey with all of that, but I feel like the opposition to Chiron, yeah, especially in the 8th house. I keep getting this like low level anxiety, this low level anxiety. And I almost want to say maybe even panic around money. I don't know what your financial situation is or has been pattern wise, but I am getting that too a little bit. Just this like very general like insecurity of being on top of money and maybe even being worried about having enough or recouping. Recouping is like a word that's coming through too. Like maybe like you stay chill, you stay cool. I'm not even accounting for the Capricorn yet. Like you stay chill and you stay cool. But then if something were to happen, like financially, I think your Chiron would get really kicked into high gear. And then I think you would overcompensate. Like that's how it's kind of feeling to me. Like it's definitely like a pattern that comes up. It's not like a consistent 24/7 thing. Also depends on what else is going in your chart. But having the Neptune in Capricorn, in the 12th house, that to me says fantasy about money and security. Yeah, okay. So the more we're talking about this, oh, my head's killing me. The more we're talking about this, I feel like that you probably do get some interesting ideas or notions about money, about security, um, even like the way you think about the future, the way you plan the future is kind of rooted in your Neptune. And Sun in Pisces with that Neptunian energy in an Earth house too, in relation to money, I think enjoys that and likes to run with it. Could even like bring about a lot of creative inspiration when it comes to how you deal with money and your material security and how you plan for the future, deal with the future. But I keep getting that feeling with the Chiron and Virgo in the 8th house that like on one end it's sobering because it might bring you back down to reality sometimes where things might not work out the way you expect financially, and then you go into high gear. But even then, it might not always be the right action, or maybe out of overcompensating or out of fear. But that's what I feel with that. I could be wrong, but that's what I feel with that. I think the community live is better for universal lighter questions. I hear you, Zay. I hear you. This is the best Christmas ever. A mod with her sword to block and chat with my BFF and community. Let's see, I know I missed a lot answering that one. So sorry if I overwhelmed you. No, it's okay. I think it's just connecting. So like I said, there's a lot of energy going on up here because we're all connecting. It just happens. Magic people get with magic people, and it happens. So that's why I can't hang on too much longer. Can you see spirits or only hear them with your gifts, or is it intuitive? It's all the above. So, and it's words. So, out of all my clairs, my just innate knowing is the strongest, I would say. My clairaudience is pretty up there. Physically seeing comes in and out, but I see and then I see, right? It's like I see in a couple different ways. I think that answers your question. I'm like, do I need to say anything else? No, I don't think so. I think that's pretty clear. Yeah, so like my inner knowing is like Claire is absolutely the strongest. And like I said, clairaudience, and then actually like seeing in my mind's eye is very strong. Physically seeing things is not as prominent, but I think that's because over the year, I think especially when I was a kid, I like tried to shut that off, just because it's a lot when you're a kid, but I see a lot in my mind's eye. Yeah. Let's see. All energy exchanges are welcomed. Intent while asking, not for a scarcity mind, will help. But yeah, guys, I love this little Christmas hangout, but I think I do gotta hop off. Like I said, my head is banging right about now. But it was great to see you guys. It was great to say hi, especially on Christmas. Especially for anybody who was kind of going through it. It's always good to connect with tribe, But yeah, I definitely think it's time. And we'll see how the next few days goes for like readings. Like I said, I've been like feeling that itch for sure. But yeah, love you all. And thank you for everybody who sent the super chats. I really greatly appreciate it. And Clyde is here. I'm sure if he was conscious, he would say hello. But you know how he is. He's a very lazy cat. So he's doing his lazy thing. I hope you guys have an amazing holiday time. And I hope to see you guys again very soon, okay? Bye, guys. Take care. Much love.